Legend has it that Einstein created a riddle that only 2% of people can solve. Here it is. There are 5 houses in 5 different towers. In each house lives a person of a different nationality. The 5 owners each drink a different kind of beverage, smoke a different brand of cigar, and keep a different pet. Using the clues below, can you determine who owns the fish? Feel free to pause the video and try to solve the riddle by yourself. If you're ready, let's proceed with the solution. What we have is a logic puzzle where we are supposed to figure out who has or does what. There are 5 houses and each of them has a unique number and color. Furthermore, their owners have unique nationalities, drink unique beverages, smoke unique cigars, and have unique pets. The best way to tackle such problems is to use a matrix, like this one. You can also call it a table or a grid if this makes it easier for you. As you see, my row titles correspond to the unique things. I have the house numbers from 1 to 5, I have the house colors, the nationalities of the owners, the beverages that they drink, the cigars they smoke, and the pets they have. You could also use column titles if this is what you prefer, and you can shuffle the sequence. For example, you could start with the beverage, or with the color, or with the nationality. It doesn't matter. The solution is just the same, and the answer won't differ. The idea is to go through the clues and to try to fill out the matrix, and this is exactly what you're going to do. The first clue is that the Brit lives in a red house. This tells us first of all that there's a Brit, and second of all that there's a red house. However, we cannot use this clue just yet because our entire matrix is empty. We need something more definitive, so we move on. The Swede keeps dogs as pets. Again, we cannot use this one just yet. The Dane drinks tea. The greenhouse is on the immediate left of the White House. The owner of the greenhouse drinks coffee. The person who smokes Pall Mall rears birds. The owner of the yellow house smokes dunhill. The person living in the house right in the middle drinks milk. Aha! Here's something that we can use. The house right in the middle is house number 3, and apparently its owner drinks milk. We write it down, and we strike this clue true because we no longer need it. And we move on. The Norwegian lives in the first house. Again, something we can use. House number 1 is here, and its owner is apparently Norwegian. The person who smokes blend lives next door to the one who keeps cats. The person who keeps horses lives next door to the person who smokes dunhill. The owner who smokes Blue Master drinks chocolate. The German smokes Prince. The Norwegian lives next door to the blue house. Alright? We've already established that the Norwegian lives in house number 1. Therefore, that person has only one neighbor, the owner of house number 2. And that house is apparently blue. The person who smokes blend has a neighbor who drinks water. Alright, after one round, we've already managed to fill in 3 pieces of information. And that's good. The idea is to repeat the process as many times necessary until the entire matrix is full. However, I'll spare you the details and I'll focus only on the clues that we can use immediately. The next clue is actually a pair of clues, these two. The greenhouse is on the immediate left of the White House. Well, where could that greenhouse be? It cannot be house number 1 because house number 1 is on the immediate left of the blue house. By the same token, the greenhouse cannot be house number 5 because there's nothing on its immediate right. Therefore, the greenhouse could be either house number 3 or house number 4. But there's more information. We know that the owner of the greenhouse drinks coffee, and the owner of house number 3 already drinks milk. Therefore, the greenhouse must be house number 4, and it's on the immediate left of the White House. And also, the owner of house number 4 drinks coffee. Thus, we managed to use up 2 clues at the same time. Now, we see that we have 3 colors. Let's see whether we can find out one more. And indeed we can. Have a look at this clue. The Brit lives in a red house. Where could that Brit be? That person could reside either in house number 1 or 3. But in house number 1 we already have the Norwegian. Therefore, the Brit must reside in house number 3. And this house must be red. We write this down. And we can now continue with the colors. We see that we have 4 of them. And here's number 5. The owner of the yellow house smokes dunhill, which means that house number 1 must be yellow and that its owner must smoke dunhill. There we go. And speaking of dunhill, we have this clue here. The person who keeps horses lives next door to the person who smokes dunhill. There's only one house adjacent to house number 1, where dunhill is the cigar of choice, and this is house number 2. Apparently, the owner of house number 2 has horses. So we write it down. Now it gets a little bit trickier. We see that we have 2 of the beverages. Where are the other 3? We have tea here, we have chocolate here, and we have water here. Let's investigate a little bit. The Dane drinks tea. Where could that Dane reside? Well, we need a column where both the nationality and the beverage cells are empty. And we see that this is column number 2 and column number 5. And we write it down, 2 or 5. Then the owner who smokes Blue Master drinks chocolate. Well, we need a column where both the cigar and the beverage cells are empty. We see that this is column number 2 and column number 5. And we write the same thing down, 2 or 5. From these 2 clues, we can establish that either the owner of house number 2 drinks tea and the owner of house number 5 drinks chocolate, or the other way around. Whatever the case, neither of them drinks water, which means that the water must be the beverage of choice of the Norwegian. And we write it down. And there's more. The person who smokes blend has a neighbor who drinks water. And as for the horses, we can now write down blend here because there's only one house adjacent to house number 1. And apparently its owner smokes blend. Now we go to this clue. The owner who smokes Blue Master drinks chocolate. Well, this owner can no longer reside in house number 2 because we've just written down that the owner of house number 2 smokes blend, which means that the Blue Master should be written down there and the chocolate goes there. Let's get rid of this one. And now we go to the Dane. The Dane drinks tea. Apparently the Dane lives in house number 2 and they drink tea. There we go. Let's try to figure out the remaining nationalities. We have here that the German smokes Prince. Where could that German be? Well, only in house 4 or 5, but the owner of house number 5 smokes Blue Master, which means that the German must be in house 4. And they smoke Prince. There we go. And what is left? We have the Swede keeps dogs as pets. Well, there's only one house left for them. This is house number 5. And there are the dogs. Done with this clue as well. Now, let's finish off the cigars. The person who smokes Pall Mall rears birds. Well, that must be the Brit, who resides in house number 3, and here are the birds. We're almost there. We have just one clue left. The person who smokes blend lives next door to the one who keeps cats. Well, the person who smokes blend lives in house number 2. And that person has 2 neighbors, house number 1 and house number 3. But the owner of house number 3 already has birds, which means that the cats are owned by the Norwegian, the owner of house number 1. And as you see, we have only one cell left. The cell in which we have to write down fish, because this is our answer. The German has the fish. Let me know in the comments below whether you've managed to solve this puzzle all by yourself. And if you find this video interesting, please like it and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.